This is a new year, a new beginning for all of us. And ideally, it is a period where we make new resolutions, how we want to run the year, or how we want the year to go for us. And then we also know that towards the end of the year, we sit back to give account. Give account to God, give account to ourselves, give account to the church, how the year went. Okay, so it is the time for us to start right. It is the time for us to make good decisions and capitalize on the fact that our hopes and desires would materialize. There's this popular saying by Napoleon Hill that whatever a mind can conceive, it can achieve. So let us make this year, this first period in the year, this first month of the year, a very successful one by conceiving the things that we desire to achieve. Okay, we will be as well making new resolution as a congregation. And it is on that note that we have come up with a new series that is captioned The Ideal Christian. So today will be like a thematic analysis. We will not go in depth into this series until our next class, which will come up on Wednesday. But today is designed to expose us to what it means to be an ideal Christian. If we look at how Luke first described Christ when he wrote to Theophilus, he said, I'm writing in the formal treatise I have written to you all that Christ began first to do and to teach. Christianity, popular definition we give to Christianity is that it is those who are followers of Christ. Now, being a follower is not being a sheepish, follow. I don't know why I'm following you, but I'm just following you. Whatever you do, I will do. And that's how Christ defined the Pharisees. When he said, they are blind leaders of the blind. If a blind leads a blind, they both fall into a ditch. Now that's what it means to be a sheepish follower. Just following, but you don't know why. So being a Christian is one who had first understood what he is doing, what he has to do, now know what he is doing, and how to achieve it. Okay, so that's what Christ first taught us. Remember that when Peter was trying to express his relationship through the inspiration of the Holy Spirit anyway, when he was expressing his relationship with Christ, in these words, he said that Christ suffered, leaving us an example to follow in his steps. Paul in 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1, said a similar thing when he said, be ye followers of me as I am of Christ. Now, all of this put together, we want to go to that where Christians were first called, where disciples of Christ were first called Christians. All of this put together shows us that a Christian, an ideal Christian, is Christ's materialized. An ideal Christian is a replica of Christ. An ideal Christian has the DNA of Christ running through him. And those who know a little, who knows science, just like I know a little of it, would understand that the DNA is the major composition of a human being or any being. And then your DNA determines your character. It shows who you are, how you act, why you act the way you do. it's because of your DNA composition. So, in this series, we are going to look at what it means to be Christ. And that's why we captioned it an ideal Christian. Who is then an ideal Christian? We've seen two passages that point towards the ideal Christian. 1 Corinthians 11, Paul said, "You who are learning from me, I want you to imitate me just the way I imitate Christ." If you stretch the statement to its elastic limits, you will come to understand that Paul is saying, you be imitator of Christ. The way I'm following Christ, that's the way I want you to follow me. So go on and follow Christ. That's the ultimate model for all of us. So an ideal Christian, in our popular definition, is one who is Christ-like, one who is a follower of Christ, one who abides by the rules of Christ. Now, I didn't make a big lesson out of this because I just want to give you a graphical view of what this series encompasses. So we may not spend so much time today. The next thing I want us to look at is another passage that shows us what an ideal Christian would be like. As we turn to Philippians chapter 2, we will read verses 5 through 8, please. You will recall that in our just concluded 1 week fasting and prayer, we covered this passage. In fact, we treated from verse 1 of Philippians chapter 2 up to verse 11. And we captured it, the mind of Christ. Okay, so let us look at what this passage entails and what it reveals to us. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus, who, being in the form of God, did not consider it robbery to be equal with God, but made himself of no reputation, taking the form of a bondservant, and coming in the likeness of men. And being found in appearance as a man, he humbled himself, and became obedient to the point of death, even the death of the cross. Okay, so that's verse 8. So you see here, the mind of Christ is what an ideal Christian would have. And the mind of Christ entails humility. It does not matter who you are, what you are capable of. What do you do with what you are, who you are, and what you are capable of? Doing is the action word that surrounds everything a Christian, an ideal Christian, does. Doing before teaching. And that's what example Christ said for us. So here we found that Christ knew that he was God, and he did not, brag about it and say, "Yes, I am God, and in fact, I would do this and that." But he emptied himself, even when he was accused. In Isaiah chapter 53, there was this prophecy of what would happen to the Christ. And then he was surprised. It's not surprising that Christ came, emptied himself, took upon the form of human, took the stand of human, went through all that human could go through without using a supernatural power to achieve all of those. Otherwise, man would say, because he was God now, that's why he did all of this. But he became human and went through the pains of human so that he would set the example for human to go through the same. So he says, let this man mind be in you. And being found in appearance as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient. in a passage, it was said that even though he was God, he was made a little lower than the angels, human, so that he will go through the course of humanity and set the example for humanity. The ultimate thing was that God gave man a law to keep. A man felt in all of his gesticulations that this law God gave them to keep was too hard for them to keep. So God said, okay, let me show you that it could be done. And then he came to become human to show human it could be done. But then he said, okay, I will make it lighter. He took it away and made a lighter commitment for man to keep. So let me not go too far. The topic with the thing we are going through this quarter is an ideal Christian. I want us to look at 1 Peter again, 1 Peter chapter 2 verses 18 to 25. This is also what it means to be human. And we will end up seeing how an ideal Christian will act in every position. Servants, be submissive to your master with all fear, not only to the good and gentle, but also to the harsh. A translation said to be fraudulent instead of using harsh. The fraudulent or any other word that could fall in that position. Okay? So you will not only be submissive to a good master, you should also be submissive to one who is fraudulent. I will explain that later. For this is commendable if, because of conscience towards God, one endures grief, suffering wrongfully. For what credit is it if when you are beaten for your faults, you take it patiently? But when you do good and suffer, if you take it patiently, this is commendable before God. For to this you were called, because Christ also suffered for us, giving us an example that you should follow in his steps. Who committed no sin, nor was deceit found in his mouth. Who, when he was rebelled, did not rebel in return. When he suffered, he did not threaten, but committed himself to him who judges righteously. Who himself bore our sins in his own body on the tree, that we, having died to sin, might live for righteousness, by whose stripes you were healed. For you we are like sheep going astray, but have returned to the shepherd and overseer of your soul. So it boils down to an example. An ideal Christian. Christ set the pace for an ideal Christian. No wonder these passages are designed for us to begin to imagine why Paul made the statement he made. Be you imitators of me, followers of me, as I am of Christ. So you now see all that Christ went through at the hands of the Jews. And Paul, who was a Jew, who was in the likeness of the Jews, turned around and decides to be in the likeness of Christ. The persecutor becoming the persecuted. Then he turns back to us and says, if you suffer for righteousness' sake, that's what Peter is saying here. If you suffer for righteousness' sake, you should be patient. In fact, you should rejoice. But if you suffer for your own fault, there's nothing to glory about in that. Okay, I want us to look at another passage before we go through what we would cover in the series. Also in 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 8 through 12. Remember that our theme is captioned the ideal Christian. So this year, our efforts should be to be in the statue of an ideal Christian. Don't only expect that your brother sitting beside you, your sister the sister sitting in front of you must act like an ideal Christian. You be the ideal Christian, just like Christ was for us. Finally, for all of you to be one mind, having compassion for one another, love as brothers, be tender-hearted, be courteous, not returning evil for evil, nor reveling for reveling, but on the contrary, blessing, knowing that you were called to this, that you may inherit a blessing. Hold on to that verse 9. The good message we got here is that this is the purpose why you went down into water, the water of baptism, and came up. Remember when Paul in Romans chapter 6 tried to define baptism for us? He said, just like Christ died and was buried and rose up to live again, you who died to sin and is buried will rise up. So just like you will rise up to live a new life like Christ did. So the calling of every Christian, all of us here as Christians, is so that we will be like Christ. We are called to this, not to return evil to evil. And just like verse 8 said, when you are troubled, do not return trouble for trouble. Do not return fire for fire. Okay? Knowing that you were called to this, that you may inherit a blessing. Okay, let's continue in from verse 10. For he who would love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil and his lips from speaking deceit. Let him turn away from evil and do good. Let him seek peace and pursue it. For the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are open to their prayers. But the face of the Lord is against those who do evil. An ideal Christian is one who has at the back of his mind that his desire should be towards God. No matter what he does, his focus is to achieve eternity with God. His focus is to get to the point where God welcomes him after this world's toiling and struggles. And that's what it says in that verse 11, showing us the mind of Christ, the example of Christ. For whosoever would love life, that's verse 10, for whosoever would love life and see good days must keep his tongue from evil and his lips from deceitful speech. When James tried to expand on this passage, on this view, this idea, remember they were all thought of Christ, so they have the same mind, the same concepts, and explained it in different views. For all of us, irrespective of your level of understanding, if you don't get it from Peter's point of view, you get it from James's point of view, or from Paul's point of view. Peter at one time said that some of the things Paul said are hard to understand, and some who do not understand risk it to their own destruction. Compare the level of education of Peter and the level of education of Paul, so you will understand why Peter said what he said. But the point is that it does not matter who you are. The scripture is written so that we will view it from different perspectives and come to the same understanding. So it says, whoever would love life must refrain, desist, run away, flee from evil. You must run away from evil. And then he goes on to say, you must also run away from speaking deceit. James said the tongue, if you are able to bridle, to manage, for lack of simplest of words, if you are able to manage, control your tongue, then you would have done a great job. It's already sinking. So you must learn to control your tongue so you can control every other thing. Okay, it goes on in verse 11. He must turn from evil and do good. He must seek peace and pursue it. It's not easy. See, seek peace, pursue peace may mean the same thing, may look as if it's the same thing. But for emphasis sake, seek peace, run after it, chase it. You see, this is the contrast. Run away from evil and run after peace. So, if you are running away from the direction of evil, you are running towards the direction of peace. So you would be at peace, not just with yourself, but with the Lord. For the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their prayers. You see, one of the things that hinder our prayer. At the time, Paul said that women should be submissive to their husbands, so they will be in loving union, and for that sake, so that for her sake, their prayers, his prayers will not be hindered. One of the things that can hinder prayers. Righteousness. Unrighteousness is one of the things that takes away the eyes of the Lord from our prayers, from us. For the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their prayers. But the face of the Lord is against those who do evil. An ideal Christian is one who runs away from evil. Look at all the description that's given of Christ. Look at Christ, even when he was on earth, the accounts of the Gospels, how he described his relationship, both vertical relationship, his relation with God, and horizontal relationship, was all of that tilts towards him running away from evil. The devil came and made promises that is not in his power, and then he used the word of God to shun him. Okay, and the final passage I would like us to go to look at before we take a look at the proper analysis of the theme is in Colossians chapter 3 rather. Colossians chapter 3. I would run through 1 to 11, but because time will fail me to talk about Colossians chapter 3 completely in totality. However, verses 1 through 11 points towards the things that we need for this series. Since then, you have been raised with Christ. Set your heart on things above, where Christ is seated at the right hand of God. Okay, so set your heart on the things above, where Christ is seated. Remember, he said, since you have been risen, I made this illustration pointing towards Romans chapter 6. Just like Christ rose, you also will rise in newness of life. Set your things on where Christ, whom you are imitating, is, so that you will inherit the things that are from there. If you set your heart on the things in this world, you will inherit the things that are here. Okay? So, and then you know that nothing here lasts forever. So it means that your mind is on the things that will vanish in a short while. Okay, let me run through the text. Set your mind on things above and not on earthly things. For you died, and your life is now hidden with Christ in God. When Christ, who is your life, appears, when you also will appear with him in glory. Put to death, therefore, whatever belongs to the earthly nature: sexual immorality, impurity, lust, evil desires, and greed, which is idolatry. Because of these, the wrath of God is coming. You used to walk in these ways in the life you once lived, but now you must rid yourself of all such things and these. Of all such things as these: anger, rage, malice, slander, and filthy languages from your lips. Do not lie to each other, since you have taken off your old self with its practices, and have put on the new self, which is being renewed in knowledge in the image of his Creator. Here there is no Greek nor Jew, circumcised or uncircumcised, barbarian, Scythians, slaves or free, but Christ is all in all. Okay, so the truth of the matter is that a Christian is a new being that is out of this world, not part of this world, does not act like the people of this world. He has different motives, different goals, different agenda, and must stick to those things. In various passages, we are warned against the things that make us less Christians, and they are repeated here. One major one talks about ourselves. The motive for this thing is so that we will look inward and see how we act, how we react to one another, how we react to each other, and the innuendos that we show forth. If you are careful how you do those things, then you know that your motive is higher than every other being. But if you do not take care of how you react to one another, how you treat your brother, then we remain where we are, earthly. And this passage says, set your mind on things above and not on things earthly. So an ideal Christian is one who is beyond this world. Remember, I think it was our sermon on Sunday, where we are reminded that this world is not our home. The very popular Degree song. I'm just passing through. So if you know you are passing through, let's say you're traveling from here to Jos, and the vehicle broke down at Makurdi, you won't just come down and say, okay, I have arrived. Since we stopped here, then that's my destination. This world is a transient place. We're passing through. And then we just got to see the things that are here, and we say, oh, I think this place is better than the place I don't know, so let me remain here. That's what most Christians are doing. Even though we have been renewed, remember, the knowledge of God is what renews us and makes this being constantly new. And then we say, oh, things that are here, I'm fascinated by them. Let me just reside here. This place is not your home. For you to show forth that you are thinking of a heavenly place, you have to put to death. Like that verse 5 said, mortify, put to death, therefore, whatever belongs to this earthly nature. And then it says, it explains them: sexual immorality, impurities, lust, evil desires, and greed, which is idolatry. The wrath of God is God is coming upon those who practice that. You know also Galatians chapter 5, 19 to 21. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, down from verse 6 down. Okay, and then he goes down to this verse 8. He says, but now you must rid yourselves of all of this. Let me see the King James Version, please. I know I've been using NIV. Verse 8, King James Version, please. But now you are to put off all of these. Put off. You know, I'm putting on these clothes. Put on, put off. When I get home, this is not a house clothes. I don't have to wear this at home. I will be uncomfortable wearing it at home. May not be uncomfortable wearing it outside, but not at home. Naturally, you get uncomfortable putting on your Christmas clothes. Pardon my Christmas word. Putting on your best clothes at home. So he says, put off those clothes that are unworthy of your earthly and heavenly desires. They are anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communications out of your mouth. Okay? Those are the things we have to put off. Do not lie. Verse 9. Do not lie to each other. Let me see. Okay? Lie not one to another, seeing that we have put off the old man with his deeds. So you see, verses 8 and 9 together. Put off all of this and don't lie to one another, since you are no longer wearing that old clothes. I don't have any ulterior motives after I have dropped off that. I should be plain as I could be. Anyone can read me. You remember Paul said, you are the epistles, our epistles, not written on the pages of the tablet of stone, but on the heart. So you should be what men read. That's who an ideal Christian must be. So this lesson is in 4 parts, and based on the arrangement with the church, the leadership, we will take them either in a quarter or 2. And in the first part, it talks about the qualities of life. What are the qualities of life? We here now explain who an ideal Christian must be in all conversations, in all holy conversations. Who is an ideal Christian? So one of the things that we will look at is the qualifications of an elder, standing in as the qualities of an ideal Christian. So an elder must be a good housekeeper, one who controls his home. So an ideal Christian, you can't say, well, this is an elder, so an elder must control his home, but then my home can run wide for all I care, and then I just want to maintain myself. An ideal Christian must be in charge of his home, must not be covetous. All of these passages we've read talk about them. Must be gentle, must not be violent. These are also qualifications that must be very prominent in the life of an elder, and also must not be hidden in the life of every other Christian. So we will look at the qualities of life. The second part that we will look at, the second part of the lesson, is rules for happy living. An ideal Christian must understand that his design, his goal, must be to live happily here on earth in preparation to his destination. That's why the scripture says, seek after peace and pursue it. You don't seek it and find it. Oh, there you are, peace. I'll see you later. Pursue it. If it's running, follow it. Chase it until you have it. Every Christian must understand the rule for happy living. And in that, we will find that it is more blessed to give than to receive. Remember, that's what the Lord says. We must be a giver. You must be one who is prayerful. You must be one who trusts in God. You must be one who laughs and weeps with others. If you look at Christ, the example of Christ, he was happy with the people who are happy, right? He went to people's houses, ate with them, started with them. And then we also found out he was also weeping. In fact, the shortest verse. What's the shortest verse in the Bible? And where is it? Where is it? Jesus wept. Where is it? 35 or 45? Alright. Jesus wept. Imagine the master weeping. Okay, so what's fellowship with those who are rejoicing and then weep with those who are weeping? Okay, the third part of the series would be stepping stone to greatness. An ideal Christian must also understand and be the stepping stone to greatness. And then part of the lesson will draw from there that in subsequent time. So this is what we will go through in our current theme, the ideal Christian. Make effort to be part of this series so you will understand the places you are lacking and then make the necessary corrections and head towards our eternal home. May the good Lord bless us as we make this effort and this journey a successful one for each and every one of us. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen. Okay. A person of self-worth. Okay? He must be open-minded. He must be a person of integrity. A person who restrains himself. One who knows when to hold back and when to push forward. Okay? When to hold back when sin is in your front. What do? Do you confront it headlong? Do you withdraw? Do you embrace it? When to hold back and when to restrain. So a Christian must understand that discipline is a stepping stone to greatness. He must be a person that is godly, one who has vision, one who is a man of peace. And then the last part of the series, an ideal Christian, talks about the desired Christian personality. There are some things as we grow, we do not have it all, but as we grow, we embrace them and then we show forth the things that we have learned. So as we grow, we will understand that there are personal qualities that we desire to have, we should have. You know, in 1 Peter, 2 Peter, I think, it says, 2 Peter chapter 1, talks about adding, when you are baptized, what are the things, the first thing you have is faith. Okay, when you are baptized, you have faith. Okay, that's the reason why you were baptized in the first place. If you do not believe, you would not have given yourself to the water of baptism. So at that point, what are the things that help you grow beyond that level of your faith? I'm standing on this pedestal, on this first step to greatness. What are the things I have to do, where I have to climb to get to where I want to go to? Okay, so that's what we have to learn. And Peter told us that upon your faith, add the other things: virtue, brotherly kindness, love, and so on and so forth. If these things be in you, it will make you that you will not fall or crumble. But if you lack them, you are blind. But the first said you are short-sighted, and then you are blind. And then you are blind. I don't know how to put it better than what we already know. So here, we will understand that he must be a person of truth, a person of kindness, one who emphasizes on love, not rude, not puffed up, one who seeks not his own, but for the good of others. So these are the 4 sections of this series. And as time permits, if we feel that it's getting too long, then we might pause, take 2 parts, do 1 quarter,